Hi everyone, thank you for watching our program. Don't forget we're here every week. Feel free to subscribe to our channel and don't forget to share. Enjoy the program.
Hello and welcome to another very special edition of Love Talk with me, Helena.
And with me, James. And this is the continuation of our very special romantic getaway.
Indeed, we thought we would celebrate and take a few days to, spend some time together to celebrate our 150th episode as well as our 15th anniversary.
That's right. So it's been 3 years of us being in your living room. We want to thank you for accompanying our journey, and hopefully we got to learn a lot along the way.
Indeed. So
now, yesterday we got to meet Noel French, the counselor of Trim. We spoke to our first couple of the 3 couples we're going to have in this series of program, Akesh and Renata. And we also got to see the wonderful place we're staying. We got to speak to Geraldine and her husband Edward, and we saw this beautiful, picturesque town of Trim.
And if you've missed our previous show or any of our shows, all you need to do is to visit our YouTube page and of course to subscribe.
That's right. But first, let's see what's coming up on today's show.
Coming up on today's Island Special Part 2 show, we'll be meeting and speaking to another 2 lovely couples from Ireland who will be sharing their unique love stories exclusively on the programme. Plus, some fitness tips courtesy of Jordan, Eric and Priscilla, and some more relationship tips will be coming your way from James and Helena about how to keep a good relationship going. So make sure you stay tuned for those. And last but certainly not the least, we have a special treat for you all at home, as we'll be taking a closer look at our show and how it has transformed throughout the years. It's definitely going to be another brilliant show here in Trim Island. Back to you, James and Helena.
Well, we have a fun-filled day ahead of us and I can't wait to meet those 2 couples we're going to interview shortly.
That's right. But earlier today, during our breakfast, we took time to speak to you about some very interesting points if you want to keep a very strong relationship.
Check it out. Well, I have to try the traditional Irish breakfast then.
Good morning. How
Hi,
are you
morning.
this morning?
Hi,
Good.
morning.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, how did you have a look at the menu?
Yes.
Yes.
Ladies first, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll have a decaf coffee.
Decaf coffee, okay.
And I would like to try your traditional Irish breakfast.
The hearty Irish.
But
All Irish.
without the pudding.
With no pudding?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And I'll have black coffee,
Black coffee?
plenty of caffeine for me, please.
Okay.
And I'll have the poached eggs on toast.
And poached eggs on toast. Okay. Just
Be
poached
great.
eggs, nothing with the poached eggs, no?
No, that's perfect. No, that's fine.
Poached eggs, okay.
Actually, maybe a little bit of bacon.
Bacon. Yeah, our bacon is very good.
Oh, he will steal from mine, I know.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you can help yourself from the buffet there if you like anything from the buffet.
Thank you.
All right, we'll
Cheers.
do.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, while we wait for our breakfast, we thought it would be a great idea to give you some tips on how you can keep your relationship healthy and going for a really long time. Because actually, you marry for life. You're supposed to marry for life, right?
Yes, it's a lifelong commitment and project. And
Of happiness and development.
Exactly.
So you start with the first step.
And there has to be work put into this. Don't think that a relationship is easy. It's something that you have an idea in your mind, you've watched something, and then this is what it's like. No, you've got to put a lot of work on it. And my first tip is that you should always be patient with your partner, because we are very different, from each other. We different upbringings. I know we do talk about this a lot, the different upbringings, where you come from. And you've got to be patient. You
Yeah.
can't expect the person to be like you.
Different personalities.
Yeah, and you do have a lot to say about that
Yeah.
when it comes to me, because now and again, it's true, now and again, he's not now and again, he was born very organized. So everything has to be on point, on time. And sometimes life is not on point and on time.
But it should be.
Yeah, but it should be.
But it's not.
It's not.
That's why you need to be patient.
That, exactly. So here's
And
an
that's-
example our very own that we
That
can.
leads us to our second point. And our second point is you need to have a good sense of humor. You know, you're not going to take on life and do very well if you don't have a good sense of humor, and especially with a relationship. You know, think about it. When we came here to Trim, we drove for about 7 hours. Right? It was a beautiful journey, but you're inside the car with the same person for 7 hours. Not to mention we had our camera crew at the back, they're behind the cameras right now.
But they were so good.
They behaved well. But the thing is, you know, if you're in this confined space, because marriage sometimes is a confined space, you can't run away if you're dealing with a problem. You have to have a good sense of humor and laugh at things, otherwise you're gonna go mad,
Yes.
right? So that's very important.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, we have to be, you know, take things easy.
Learn to smile and laugh.
Yes, because life is too short, like they say, and it's true. Now, another point is intimacy. Intimacy is a very important part of a couple. Why? Because it brings you close together. It's like the glue between you two.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be that glue, because then you become too vulnerable. And for example, intimacy, it's not just the sexual act in itself, but it's a lot more than that. Is you looking at the person and knowing what he's feeling or understanding what he means. It's that, you know, this very, very precious thing called intimacy. If you look the word intimacy up, you will see how great this word is and what it really means. I mean, there has to be this, otherwise you won't make it.
That's right.
And just one more thing, intimacy comes through you really, really knowing the other person, which is your project for life.
That's right. Now, our fourth tip is that, you know, life gets very busy, that's normal, and if you have children especially, you start to run out of time. But you have to find time to invest in each other. You know, no matter how busy your life is, you need to set time aside for you to talk, for you to go away like we're doing now. You know, the thing is, you can say all you want, we don't have time to take a break. Not take a break from the relationship, but take a break to go somewhere, to spend time together. Or you can say you don't have the budget. But the truth is, there is time, there is a budget. You just have to put it in your head that it's important to spend time together, no matter how busy you are, and that's going to bring you closer together. Every time you take time to go away for a little bit, even if it's around where you live, and go to a park and sit down, or go to a restaurant, or go on a break, that makes you come closer together.
I was going to say that, and many people think that taking time with your partner means, oh, we need to book a holiday abroad. But sometimes you can't, because you don't have all that time and you don't have that money. You've got children, you know, you are at a stage of your life where you can't really afford certain things, but
Here's our
it
breakfast.
is possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. My traditional Irish breakfast.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thank you. Oh,
That's
thank
amazing.
you very much.
Okay,
We're ready for a full day.
but this is going to get you through the full day.
Oh, wow.
Maybe
I think
we'll have
so.
to skip lunch.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
would you
very
like any
much.
sauces? I have Tabasco sauce, mustard,
I'm
brown sauce,
okay.
or tomato
I'm
ketchup.
perfect. Do you
No,
want
I'm
anything?
fine, thank you.
You're all good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
Enjoy
so
that.
much.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Okay.
I
Thanks.
will. Thank you. So, yeah, this is important. You know, people give many excuses. Oh, you know, I can't really afford these things. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's about creativity.
That's right.
Right, and the last tip is you have to be radical. And I know this word sounds really heavy, but you've got to be like this in a relationship when it comes to protecting your marriage, okay? You know, we always advise you on the show that it's all very good to have friends, but be very careful with friends of the opposite sex, because sometimes you don't know their intention. You don't know if they are well married, what's going on in their own life, and then you are there exposing yourself and being too friendly. That's not a good idea.
So when we say being radical, it's excluding from your relationship, being radical to exclude from your relationship everything that can affect it. Be careful with social media, people who give you a lot of attention at work when you're already in a relationship. This could be a potential problem for you in the future. We hope that those tips have been helpful. Now, while we tuck in, let's head over to Eric and Priscilla for this week's Fitness for Two.
Hello and welcome to Fitness for Two. My name's Jordan and I'm here with Eric and Priscilla, and we've got a nice exercise for you to do today. But before we start, make sure you do check with your doctor if you are suffering from any medical condition or physical injury. But for everyone else, up you get. Let's get started. Are you ready? This is really simple. This is the warm-up, easy step. You ready? Join in when you can, taking one leg forward and you're just stepping forward. This is called easy step, so it's easy. And it's called box step or V step. It's so cool, it's got like 3 names. Okay, so nice, straight forward, one leg forward, keeping everything facing forward. So hips, chest lifted. Don't worry, we're gonna give you some harder options. The first one is switching up legs. Sounds simple, but get that brain going. Okay, so you're switching, if you're on the right side like us, taking it to the left. And then we're gonna make it slightly harder. So I'm gonna switch back to the right, guys. And then down into a more challenging squat-like position. So it is a box step, and this is where that shape is created. So nice and safe on the knees, as always. I keep going on about it, I know, but it's very important. Knees in line with those ankles, and still make sure that you can see your toes if you look over like that. What we're gonna do, we're gonna switch sides, just while they're getting comfortable, you know? How are you doing at home? You can take your arms out if you want to. Yay. And also, you can come back with a jump. So, if you want to make it that bit harder, which, are you doing it? Then you can come back with a jump. Talking of going back, come back to the simple step, right leg again. Okay, we're gonna take the step backwards. So just stand on the spot, get your head around the fact that you're gonna be stepping back. Ready? Here we go. Back, easy. It's the same shape. How are you doing? Are you building up a bit of, I'm getting quite worn out by this. Is it working, yeah? Okay, other side. So switching, oh, that made me think as well there. I talk too much, don't I? We know this. All right, so this is where it gets really fun. We're gonna do one backwards, jumping forwards, just to get these guys really warmed up. And you guys at home, make sure you face your partner, because that's what these are gonna do now. So stand here, make sure you're close enough. There we go. They're gonna mirror each other, and we have tried this with the lunges, and they were okay, but they need a bit of practice. So they're going to mirror each other now, doing the box step. So coming forward on the opposite leg, so they're mirrored. Go for it, guys. Oh, they're not that bad. They've been practicing, I think. Okay. They just look like they're doing some salsa move, some dancing. They need to start again. Come on, forward. That's it, one leg. And then how about trying the jump? Coming forward, jump. Oh, they're better at that because they don't have to think about the direction necessarily. Brilliant. All right, come back in, guys. Let's do a little warm down. And the great thing about this exercise we put together for you guys at home is you just literally warm down, either cool down in the same way you've warmed up, okay? So just taking that step forward, and again, switch up legs if you can. And of course, we'll see you next time on Fitness for Two.
Well, a big thank you to Jordan and Eric and Priscilla. Well done. Keep going. Keep this exercise going.
Absolutely.
I'm doing the same.
Now, last time you got to meet Akesh and Renata, and don't go anywhere because after the break, we'll get to meet Rodrigo and Andrea Achilles, who almost separated. That's right. They almost broke up and went their separate ways. But you'll hear how one decision you make in life can turn things around completely. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. everyone, thank you for watching our program. Don't forget we're here every week. And click here to subscribe so you can watch all our upcoming programs and
Never miss one. Welcome everybody to our second part of the special Love Talk edition in Ireland.
That's right. It's our 151th show. It's a landmark. We're
Yes,
very
it
excited
is.
about that. 4th season of the program, and we're also celebrating just 15 years of our wedding.
Indeed, and you are all part of it. Now, if you've watched, or actually, if you've missed any of our previous shows, all you need to do is to visit our YouTube channel on YouTube, of course, and please remember to subscribe, okay?
Now it's time for us to see and hear the amazing story of Rodrigo and Andrea Achilles. So let's talk to our first couple of today's program. Now, here's the thing. We're going to do something a little bit different. We have Rodrigo and Andrea here with us, and they are a couple from Brazil living in Dublin. So we're going to be speaking in Portuguese with them, and we'll have subtitles there. We hope that you can understand.
Indeed.
So let's switch to Portuguese. Então, Rodrigo e Andrea, não é? Então, vocês são casados há quanto tempo?
11 anos, né?
11
Eu tenho
anos.
11 anos de casado, é.
Então, vocês têm uma história onde vocês passaram por vários problemas, não é?
Sim.
Qual foi a situação, a história do vosso relacionamento? Quais eram os problemas que vocês enfrentavam antigamente?
Bom, eu nunca tive um modelo de relacionamento, de estrutura na vida sentimental, porque meu pai, minha mãe, meu pai nos deixou quando eu ainda era um bebê, né? E quando eu vim a conhecê-lo, a vida sentimental dele era uma bagunça, ele era alcoólatra, agressivo, a minha mãe nunca conseguiu ser feliz com ninguém, então eu nunca tive aquela imagem, eu nunca aprendi a respeitar uma mulher.
Então você acha que você não respeitava mulheres?
Não, a começar pela minha própria mãe, pela minha irmã, a maneira que eu as tratava, e em todos os relacionamentos que eu me envolvia, eu não via a mulher como algo que devia ser respeitado, eu via apenas como uma mulher.
Muito
Então eu tinha
interessante.
aquela imagem, né, que eu peguei, até por deixar a casa do meu pai, eu fui morar com um rapaz que era como dizia, um mulherengo, de um nível que eu não teria tempo de falar aqui, mas de um nível que realmente é assombrador, e ele foi uma espécie de professor para mim. Pela fé, por uns princípios que eu vim aprender, abandonei tudo aquilo e eu achava que eu estava pronto. Estou pronto para casar, estou pronto para um relacionamento.
Você pensou que estava tudo certo?
Eu pensei que estava tudo certo. Procurei pela pessoa, tive certeza que era a pessoa. Quando eu encontrei, essa, tive certeza. Mas eu tinha vencido 80% dos meus problemas. 20% estava lá escondido ainda. E dentre esses 20%, o pior era o orgulho. Eu tinha um grande monstro dentro de mim.
Orgulho em que sentido?
Tudo tinha que ser do meu jeito.
Então você queria a coisa, tem que ser assim.
Tem que ser
Acabou.
assim.
Mas para a gente entender essa parte que o senhor vai explicar, eu queria falar com a Andrea. Andrea, fala um pouquinho para a gente quem é a Andrea antes de conhecer o esposo. Como é que vocês se conheceram? Porque você tem uma história também diferente, que é para depois juntar essa do orgulho, que é para as pessoas em casa entenderem como
A
é que isso
raiz do
afetou.
problema.
Exatamente.
Bom, antes de eu conhecer ele, eu tinha um relacionamento, né? Muito nova, eu tinha 16 anos. E na época eu engravidei desse rapaz, meu primeiro relacionamento. Então a gente terminou, né? Não deu certo. E eu tive que criar o meu filho sozinha, né? Eu fui mãe e pai do meu filho,
Tinha que
né?
ser forte,
Tinha que ser forte,
corajosa.
tinha que mostrar coragem, tinha que sair para trabalhar, tinha que pagar. Eu era independente, né? Eu tinha que fazer, eu tinha que criar o meu filho, né?
Aí depois...
Então, quando eu conheci o meu marido, 6 anos depois que eu tive o meu filho, né? eu também achava que eu estava preparada, embora eu não tinha um casamento antes, somente foi um relacionamento. Mas eu achava que eu estava pronta, né? Eu já tinha uma responsabilidade como mãe solteira, então eu dizia, não, estou pronta. Mas quando a gente se conheceu, a gente bateu de frente, porque ele era uma pessoa, como ele disse, ele não teve uma base de família, ele não teve uma família reconstituída, né? Um pai e mãe, foi criado.
Aí
então ele não
juntou-se,
tinha uma
né?
base. E eu já era diferente, eu tive uma família, mas ao mesmo tempo era uma mãe solteira que achava que era independente, né?
Então, o interessante é que ninguém queria ceder, né? Ninguém cedia.
Não.
And one day, things exploded, right? Dia o negócio explodiu, não foi?
Com certeza.
O que aconteceu? Qual foi aquela situação que você pensou, eu tenho que buscar ajuda, alguma coisa tem que mudar? O que aconteceu?
Bom, as discussões que eram verbais, né,
Constante.
começou a escalar, a aumentar. E eu comecei a ficar agressivo. Então, a fim de chamar a atenção, de provar o meu ponto, eu começava a quebrar as coisas. Então, eu quebrei computadores, não interessava se tinha valor ou não.
E nunca resolveu o problema.
E não resolvia.
Partias, você só vai gastar mais dinheiro colocando...
Não resolvia o problema. Porque vinha uma outra situação e a gente estava ali na mesma situação de novo. Porque não entrava. O que eu estava tentando fazer daquela maneira não deu certo. Então, daquilo de tentar conquistar o respeito dela na força, houve um momento em que eu bati nela, que eu acertei ela, no impulso, no momento, foi uma coisa rápida, mas aconteceu. E quando aquilo aconteceu foi quando a ficha caiu.
O que passou quando você fez aquilo, você caiu na real, o que é que passou pela sua cabeça?
A minha filha estava do lado, a minha filha pequena, ela estava do lado. E aquilo ficava na minha mente o tempo todo, eu via aquele filme de espanto nos olhos da minha filha e da minha esposa.
Pois.
Então aquilo me machucou, aquilo me fez ver a situação que eu realmente estava, porque eu não me via daquela forma.
Você pensava que a situação não era tão má assim?
Eu não imaginava que eu podia chegar a esse ponto, eu nunca pensei que eu pudesse chegar a esse ponto.
Mas é interessante, não é? Porque eu estou a ver a sua história e uma coisa que o senhor disse foi que a sua base não foi muito boa, não é? Não teve um pai que ensinasse, e as pessoas em casa, especialmente quem sofre, que está sofrendo a mesma coisa, parecido com a história deles, às vezes a esposa ou o marido não sabem o que fazer, mas a razão realmente é aquilo, a pessoa que está tentando se expressar, mas não sabe como. E às vezes é através de um ato físico, violento, ou de palavras, não sabem conversar. Olha, o meu problema é este, você tem que me respeitar, sou marido.
Será então que foi naquele momento que você decidiu buscar ajuda? Expor o problema e buscar ajuda?
Foi naquele momento. Eu já tinha... Eu já tinha aprendido bastante, né? A gente frequentava reuniões, mas tudo aquilo era teoria na minha mente. Eu não tinha visto realmente a necessidade de colocar em prática, eu não tinha visto o quanto eu precisava daquilo. E naquele momento eu vi, não, realmente eu preciso. Então eu me agarrei a tudo aquilo que já estava guardado aqui, mas estava guardado.
E começou a praticar?
Eu comecei a colocar em prática.
Quando vocês começaram a então colocar esse ensinamento em prática, e acabou aquele orgulho, aquela coisa do meu jeito, eu quero então mudar, os dois começaram a mudar, então começou a relação a mudar, foi isso?
Sim. Por exemplo, quando a gente, igual ele falou, a gente não se combinava, né? A gente sempre batia na mesma tecla, o mesmo problema. O problema estava ali, a gente não resolvia o problema. A gente não conversava, a gente não sentava, olha...
E ninguém queria ceder.
Ninguém queria ceder, né? O orgulho era tão grande que ninguém queria falar, eu tenho que mudar, alguém tem que mudar aqui, alguém tem que fazer alguma coisa,
sempre
né?
é você que tem que mudar.
Você tem que mudar, você que tem que mudar. Então a gente nunca se entendia. Então foi aí que começou a mudança, igual ele falou, né? Ali que quando ele me agrediu, né?
Quem começou a mudar primeiro, ele ou você?
Eu comecei a mudar. Eu comecei a mudar. Porque assim, ele falava, você é muito orgulhosa. E eu falava, mas como? Ele que é orgulhoso, nunca olhava para mim. Mas no momento que eu vi que eu não estava submetendo a ele, por isso que ele ficava nervoso, às vezes ele ficava nervoso, jogava as coisas, eu não entendi o porquê que ele estava assim. Né? Então, assim, eu vi que eu não estava respeitando ele. Eu tinha que tomar uma atitude de mudar a mim para que ele viesse.
Isso é muito importante, porque você continua sendo aquela mulher forte, não é? Forte que sempre foi, mas tem um tempo e um lugar certo de se falar as coisas. E também a hora certa de ouvir o marido, né? Que é tão importante no casamento.
Então, o que eu queria saber agora é o seguinte: agora que vocês entenderam, não agora, já há um tempo, vocês entenderam a importância de aceitar quando tem que mudar, humildade e tal. Então, como é que tem sido esses últimos anos, agora que vocês entenderam isso, praticam isso? Como é que é o casamento agora?
Tudo mudou, né? Tudo mudou, porque assim, agora a submissão, né? Eu aprendi a falar na hora certa, né? Escutar ele, as decisões que ele toma, a gente agree, a gente concorda, né? Juntos. Então, assim, a união, há um casamento, os dois em um, né? Antes era dois em uma casa, cada um na sua cabeça, né? Hoje a gente tem uma cabeça só.
Então, olha, muito obrigado por terem partilhado a vossa história.
Muito obrigada mesmo.
A gente já vai ouvir um pouquinho mais de vocês. But you see, before we go through the 3 most annoying things about each other, you see the importance of, if 2 people don't understand the importance of sacrificing for each other and, you know, compromising, at one point the relationship will explode. And when it explodes, it's almost impossible sometimes to put it back together. So it's important that you work on it while there is time, changing while there is time, so you can make things work.
And if you still don't know what sacrifice in a relationship means, here is a very good example. To sacrifice is to listen sometimes, and is to take things in and consider, am I really like this? Do I really have this problem? Instead of fighting back, give it some time. Give it some thought. I think this is one of the main sacrifices in a marriage.
Now let's go to the 3 most annoying things about your partner.
A primeira é quando eu tô no espelho. Tô se me arrumando, a gente vai sair e ele vem, deixa eu ver, ele me empurra, né, e quer pegar o espelho. Não, o espelho é eu. Aí eu volto de novo, ele, não, deixa eu... E não quer que eu fique no espelho, ele tem que estar no espelho, né? Fala, você tá demais no espelho, você já veio não sei quantas vezes no espelho. Então isso aí é engraçado, porque ele quer... Eu falo, mas você é homem, eu que sou mulher, eu que vou tomar o espelho, né?
As 3 coisas mais engraçadas na dona Andréia normalmente quando ela está se arrumando, ela diz que ela arruma rápido, né? Mas é realmente uma luta para conseguir pegar o espelho. E às vezes ela sai pegando o espelho que tem em toda a casa.
Sabe, não é bem engraçado, né? Porque ele sempre, quando a gente casou, ele sempre falava do meu nariz, né? Ai, seu nariz. Então, assim, ele tirava o sarrinho, né? Não sei se é o sarrinho, né? Mas falava, você tem o nariz do máscara. Isso não é engraçado, né? Mas ele sempre falava isso pra mim, isso me irritava e eu empurrava ele, aquela coisa toda, não sei nem se é engraçado, né? Porque...
Outra coisa também é quando ela fala, me dá um minuto. A gente sai, ela começa a conversar com as pessoas, não me dá um minuto, eu já estou indo, me espera no carro. E ali eu tenho que ter paciência, eu já sei como é, então já vou no mercado, já se tem que comprar alguma coisa, já compro, dou bastante tempo para ela.
A outra eu não sei, agora eu não lembro, que era engraçado. Também tem muita coisa, mas não vem na minha mente agora.
Eu não vejo outra coisa, são essas coisas que eu consigo me lembrar. Ela tem também um tempero que ela gosta muito, mas não é bem do meu agrado, né? A gente sempre fala, quando eu chego em casa lá da porta eu já sei que é o tal tempero, mas tem que sacrificar, né?
Well, that was a very, I wouldn't say shocking, but really interesting story of this couple that, you know, and we wanted to make sure actually that you didn't miss anything. So they spoke in Portuguese, their language, and I hope you were able to capture every single thing they said through the subtitles.
After all, Love Talk Show is an international show, right?
Oh, yes, it is.
Let me just say, not a disclaimer, but just important to say that you see that through that story when he said there was one moment where he lost it and he even was violent with his wife. In that one occasion, that's what prompted him to seek help. So we don't condone that. That should never happen. If it does happen and you want to accept that the person seeks help, then it's up to you. But you see in this one case how humility can change everything. Now, after the break, we'll get to meet our third and final couple, Andrew and Ranuca. They have an amazing story. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hi everybody, we hope that you are enjoying today's program. Did you know that we hold weekly seminars every Saturday at 7 p.m.?
That's right. Come and join us at the Rainbow Theatre in Finsbury Park. Admission is free. We'd love to see you there.
Welcome back. This is part 2 of Love Talk in Ireland.
That's right. We've chosen Trim in Ireland to be precise. And
you can hear the birds.
That's right. They're singing somewhere in the trees. We have some donkeys there at the back. Beautiful scenery. And it's been absolutely amazing. We're celebrating many milestones here in this show. Now, before the break, you saw the amazing story of Rodrigo and Andrea and how they got their marriage to where it is now. And now let's meet our final couple, Andrew and Ranuca. So now we're here sitting with our third and final couple of this special series of 2 programs in Ireland. Let me introduce you to Andrew. Welcome, Andrew.
Hello.
And Ranuca.
Yes. Hi.
Now, you guys were telling us a little bit about your story earlier. I'm going to start with you, Andrew. Now, if you go back a little bit, rewind a few years before you met Ranuca and you guys got married, who was Andrew before?
Well, before I met Ranuca, I was alcoholic.
Really?
Yeah. I had a lot of problems. I'd grown up in a home. I'd suffered abuse when I was in the home.
Wow.
And basically, you know, every idea I had in my mind was that I never wanted to be the way my life had become. My mother put me in a home after 3 months. You know, told me I'd be there for 3 months, and I ended up there for 9 years.
Wow.
So I had a lot of issues, a lot of trust issues, and basically most people use their family as a role model, use their parents as a role model. I wanted to be the complete opposite of my family.
Right, so you said I'll never be like that.
I never want to be, I never want to be the way my father was.
Which is a very positive thing in a way, because we hear many stories of people who went through what you went through or less, and they couldn't help it but become like their family and be angry in that way.
And that's the question I was going to ask, because usually when we say I don't want to be like them, people tend to become like them. Was that the case?
That was very much the case.
So you became exactly like them?
Even worse.
Even worse?
Okay.
Even worse.
You became your worst nightmare?
Yeah.
What was your relationship history like?
Well, from the very first relationship I got on, that started off very sincere. But just, you know, when that first relationship failed, which was like at 17, it just got progressively worse. They just became more shallow as the years went on. Right. I had a lot of issues in the past as well. I had a lot of issues because when I grew up in a home, there was an awful lot of, shall we say, dysfunctionality, you know, both sexually and mentally. So there was a lot of issues I was fighting to deal with coming out of the home. Right. And, you know, there was a lot of things that I was ashamed to talk about, a lot of things I was ashamed to face.
So he was not ready to be in a relationship. What about you? What's your story?
I was married before, and I was in marriage relationship 10 years. But then 10 years was, only 3 years I was happy in that relationship. And after that, I was facing betrayal. My ex-husband used to beat me badly.
Wow.
And I have 2 children from that relationship, but like he used to change women every month. Like he will be with even my best friend, even his own family members. And I knew everything that what was going on, but I didn't have the strength to stop because I had no right to speak. If I would even ask why you are doing that, the first thing he will beat me. I had no right to talk. I had no right to ask questions.
So you were in that relationship for 20 years, you said, or 10 years?
10 years.
10 years.
It's a long time.
Tell us about the last relationship before you met Andrew.
Yeah, I just want to speak about how I get out on that relationship. It came to a point where he bring a woman in the house and he told me, this is the way you're going to be living. We 3 of us, we're going to share the same room and this is what is your future. So you have to accept this woman. So that point, I had my kids. My son was 7 years old and my daughter was 6 years old. And I was kind of, no, I cannot show this kind of life to my children because I never saw in my family.
Right.
And then I did get strength to leave, go to my mother and tell my family what was going on.
Right.
And since then I stay in my country 2 years and then I came to Ireland.
Right. When you arrived here, you had another relationship before you met Andrew, right?
Yes.
How did that go?
It was, because I was a married woman and I had kids, I never thought that somebody will accept me. I will have a normal relationship. I was in that relationship just like to be secure, kind of.
Right.
To have somebody by your side to talk to you.
Did you have security?
Not really, because most of the time that relationship was a torment. Because the person, I don't think he was well mentally.
Okay.
He was mostly not really aggressive, but with his speech.
Confused.
Like I was thinking I'm getting crazy myself. But I was staying there because I said, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? I have nobody in this country. And I said, okay, at least I have someone by my side.
Right.
But there was no any physical relationship. I was in that relationship probably 3-4 months, something like that.
Okay.
And how did it end? Because then you met your husband today.
Yeah, there was a time when I was before I met Andrew, when I was on that other relationship, that person was not physically fit to have physical relationship. But my daughter was 11 years old and we were like, she came to Ireland. And those moments when I noticed that there was something going on, like he was like maybe abusing my daughter in a different way, touching here and there, like so. Then I was saying like I can't be continuing. I do have to get out, and then I left. But
you did the right thing.
Yeah, but one day one of my neighbors, she was getting married, and I was invited in the wedding, and there was Andrew singing there.
Andrew was singing at the wedding.
He's a very good singer. But I just saw him and I never speak and I walk away. Like I didn't talk to him. But also because I was in the relationship where I was before met Andrew, that person was friend with Andrew.
Okay.
And he was telling me lots of stories about him. He is a bad guy. He have kids all over the town with many women.
Let me just stop you there because I want to tell people at home something, right? You see here a recipe for disaster. Because let's do a summary. Andrew, you were an alcoholic, right? You went through abuse. I'm sorry we were laughing. We weren't laughing at what you went through.
Absolutely not.
But it's just, this is what we say at Love Talk and Love Talk Live all the time. Two people like this cannot go into a relationship because it's going to be a recipe for disaster. Alcoholic, going through abuse, abandoned by your parents, not wanting to become like them and then becoming worse than them. and you the same thing. And this is a recipe for disaster. Right?
It is, but this is what happens. People, everyone is looking for happiness. So they think, you know, this one didn't work out, so let me find someone else.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work out again, so let me find someone else. And that's a problem. You need to stop, be by yourself and sort out your situation, your issues, and then
and a lot of people think that the solution will be to find someone else. So now we've only got a couple minutes left. I want to hear, Andrew, once you sorted out the issues, you dealt with the issues you had, you overcame the alcoholism, and when you met, you were telling me earlier, you were really transparent with her, right? And he was really sincere.
Yeah.
Yes. He was very much like protective in the relationship. He was protective in a way not to hurt me, because he knew my past, he knew what I have been gone through, and he was very clear to me. He never hid his password of anything for his phone, his emails, his bank account. He was very, very, very open. And he even avoided talking to his own friends, ladies' friends, just to give me security, just to make me comfortable.
I think you were ready for a relationship.
Exactly. But you initially, you didn't trust anybody, right?
No, it's still then, it's still at that point. I was happy with him as a friend only. But when come to have a serious relationship, I would be afraid. I will say, oh no, this man had issue in the past. What happened if he does betray me again? Because he was not sincere with his past relationship. So there was lots of doubts in me, and I couldn't really trust.
You had to deal with that.
Yes, I couldn't really say, well, no, I really want this way. But looking at his sincerity, looking at his humbleness, looking at his patience, what he has towards me.
Because he waited for you to feel comfortable with him.
Yeah, he has done the worst. There was a snow night, and he was outside my door all night waiting for me because I was so angry, didn't want to talk to him. And he was there in the cold until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's love.
Aww.
That's love. So now, you know, you've been married for 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're expecting a baby.
Congratulations.
That's amazing. And how have those 3 years been? Now that you've dealt with all those things, you're no longer an alcoholic, you've overcome everything and been open about everything to her. How is married life? How are these 3 years of your life?
It's completely different for me because I couldn't even dream about marriage can be like that. For me, marriage would be like a burden, something that you have to just follow.
Endure and just...
Yeah, like, doesn't matter what happened. But with us, it's nothing like that. We are just very good friends to each other. We trust each other. I can be not home from morning to evening. He will text me, how are you? That's all. But he will not ask me, what time you're coming home? Where are you? What are you doing?
There's complete
no such
trust.
thing.
I think it's important also just to tie the bridge over there of how I became kind of transformed. You know, like, I mean, I did get some help, you know, I did get some counselling. And through the counselling, one of the big things that I learned was intelligence. So I was terrible for like cheating in relationships. You know, I could never be faithful, you know. And one of the things I would have had a fear of is, you know, I would never give out my passwords, this kind of stuff, you know. So I decided, you know, I needed to be completely transparent about my past, things that were making me suicidal, a lot of the things, and this is how once you know, I revealed the truth, and
that's great.
I knew there was no past that could come back. There was no one that could walk up to my wife and say, well, do you know he's this way, do you know he's that way, because she knew that all.
Guys, thank you so much. We've run out of time, and thank you for sharing your
it's
amazing
an inspiration.
story.
Thank you for sharing that with
us.
Thank
you. So now you've learned, be transparent, and you know, if you've got a messed up past, it's okay, but sort it out, deal with it first, okay? Yes. Let's go for the 3 most annoying things about your partner.
One of the most annoying things about my wife, sometimes I want to put an idea to her, and when I go to start with the idea, she just goes, and looks at me straight and just goes, and I know straight off her decision is already made. I know there's no point elaborating on what the idea is any further. The decision's already made.
I tell him from last 3 years, after the shower, don't put your wet towel on the bed, but he still do.
She's sometimes gives out to me an awful lot for leaving socks on the floor and leaving wet towels on the bed.
The second thing is his shoes and the socks. One shoe's in the other corner, the other one is in the other corner. and the socks on the floor catch all the dust.
She tells me sometimes, you know, that, you know, because I'm a taxi driver, you know, I'm self-employed. Sometimes she tells you, you know, you need to work, I need to see this amount of money, I need to see A, B, and C. And then I go and I say, okay, and then I work crazy to try and make the money. And then she'll come along and she'll say, you know, you got to do something about how you're working. You know, because I never see you, you're never home in the nighttime.
He loved to wash my dishes, but I don't like to do him because he just makes my kitchen like a swimming pool. So I prefer him to not do than to do. Andrew, I love you and I appreciate everything you do for me.
Well, thanks a lot to Andrew and Renuka. They spoke about a lot of deep stuff, and we want to thank them for sharing and pouring their heart out.
They went through a lot.
That's right. Now, sadly, after the break, we'll be saying goodbye to this beautiful place, but don't go anywhere. We still have our final part of this show. We'll be right back. We hope you're enjoying the program, and remember you can get in touch with us sending us an email to questions@lovetalkshow.tv, and we will answer your questions here on this program.
Or if you want to have a one-to-one with us and you're going through a difficult moment in your life and you need some specific advice, write to us again on the same email address and we'll be happy to arrange an appointment with you.
Get in touch. Welcome back, and it's nearly time to say goodbye.
Yes, it is. It's time to go back to, shall we say, reality?
That's right. Now, you know, this has been a very special series of 2 programs because it's a special time for the show itself, right? It's been 3 seasons. We're now starting the 5th, or the 4th rather. 151 shows now, and 15 years together. And you know, I think there's a few things we've learned here in this program. And especially with the couples we've interviewed, I think each one taught us something special. I think with Renata and Akesh, we learned that, like Akesh said, you cannot just jump into a relationship because you like someone and not even check if that's the right person for you.
True. To me, all of the stories were very, very touching. But the last one for me, maybe because I've been through in the past similar situations, or I've witnessed other people go through that, rather, and I can understand her pain and his pain, and they are very strong people. These people are strong not just because of their change, but because they decided to seek help. And that to me is the beginning of change, when you realize you have a problem.
I think the best part of this trip has been 2 things. Number one, the hospitality of the people of Trim has been amazing.
Oh, people are so friendly. Oh my God.
From the people who looked after us here at Highfield House, to the people of the city. But also, I have to say, we've been working a lot of hours of filming, but we really enjoyed our time together. Our crew have been brilliant. So a strong, loud hand clap to our crew, who you can't see, but they've done really well. So congratulations. I think it's been special to spend some time together, even though we've been working as well.
Yeah, and I got to see a side to my husband that I already see every day, which is, even though we are having a little break, we are still focused. And we will forever be focused on what we're doing, and I love that about him.
I think it's important.
Very focused.
It's important for us to talk about our 15 years of marriage, because sometimes we don't talk about that enough. And you know, we don't try to tell you that our marriage is perfect. Our marriage is not perfect, far from perfect. It's never been perfect. But there is one thing we try to do. You know, it's really hard sometimes to acknowledge when you've made a mistake and to say, I'm wrong, to say I'm sorry. For me, that's been one of the most difficult things to learn.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. But you're doing well.
Thank you.
and something else I wanted to add, I don't know if you finished your point. No.
Carry on.
Yeah, is that one of the ways you can see that we don't claim to have a perfect marriage or we know it all, is that, especially you who attend our seminars, you know, we talk about our own experiences and things that the topics we bring on the show are things that we perhaps have been through them, or things that we've experienced, and things that we know are going to help you like they helped us. So here it is. We couldn't be any more transparent.
Another important thing we learned in this almost 4 years of doing this show, you know, when I started doing this show, I had this idea that there was only one way to make a marriage work. And in a way it's true, because there are some fundamental rules that cannot be changed. But there's also something that I've learned, that there are things that work for me and Helena, but that may not work for other couples. Now, we're not talking about the fundamentals, like faithfulness, or faithfulness works for you, but it doesn't work for me. Now, faithfulness has to work across the board. Respect has to work across the board, but there are things that, you know, for us, it works for us that every evening when I come home, you know, the lights are dimmed down and there's not a lot going on. I just want to wind down and relax. But there's other people who like to come home to a very, very busy
and lively
environment. And if that works for you, great. And for me, I didn't have that understanding when I started doing this program, but I now understand that, you know, for some couples, some things work, and those things may not work for other couples.
Yes, and this is something you should remember, and not compare yourself to other people. Everyone is different. No one is the same. So I want to use this to say to you as well, to link to something else. What makes Love Talk a great and unique show? I call it great because we've been getting a lot of feedback, and it's really nice to hear that it's been helping people. But why does it make, why is our show so unique? Because these stories are true. These are real stories. There's no makeup. I mean, just a little makeup, you know, otherwise, you know. But apart from that, what you see is real stories. We don't come to you claiming that we know everything, that we are a perfect couple. No, we share with you things that helped us, and I think that makes it really unique.
And I think, for me, the most unique thing about Love Talk is we speak about what nobody talks about. Nobody, which is intelligent love, right? Andrew spoke about this earlier, and for us this is the most important thing. Now, our expectations for the 4th season of this show, right? Well, we're expecting to hear a lot more great stories from great couples. We're expecting to continue to learn, because we also have to learn. And who knows, we may be coming to a city where you are very soon. We don't know. Let's see what happens.
Indeed. But just to wrap it up, I would say something that I've learned as well, and that summarizes everything we teach you and that we learned for ourselves is, you know, feel less and think more. I think that's what you should keep. If anything, that's what you should keep for yourself.
Now, if there's any questions you've had about today's show or this series of 2 shows, you can get in contact through the email questions@lovetalkshow.tv. Send us a message on Facebook. If you want to be a guest on our show, also let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Now, as a little treat, we've reserved a few minutes at the end of this show to show you some clips from the beginning, the very beginning of Love Talk, the 1st season, from the 1st show until where we are right now. Enjoy and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Maybe tell you a little bit about ourselves, right, Helena?
Yeah.
Do you want to start?
Well, we've been married for just over 11 years. We dated for almost a year, 11 months and a few days.
You're seeing now some pictures of our wedding day. You seeing a
Should
more...
I comment on some of them?
You're seeing a more chubbier James, right?
Oh, we look so young there.
Helena, what is his favourite dessert? James, what is your favourite dessert? You write it down. Quickly!
I don't know if I
You need to know these off the top of your head.
I don't know if I have one.
You know the one we have sometimes in the evening.
No, you're not allowed to stop the sheets.
I'm almost asleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, And then she says, oh, could you please go to the kitchen and get me a glass of milk with chocolate, please? And make sure there's 3 spoons of chocolate. And don't stir the milk, just bring me the glass, I will stir it myself. But she made sure that I was almost asleep before she asked me for the glass of milk, so that's very annoying. When I'm with Helena, I feel that, you know, we belong together. If we are not together, I feel like I'm incomplete. I shouldn't be saying this because then she gets too big-headed, right?
No, I don't.
But this is the truth. That's what attachment is, right? I learned today that there is someone who's worse at maths than I am.
Don't put that on me. I'm nervous. I'm on TV.
But thank you very much, because
yes, indeed.
You know, we can see that when you have problems like with shyness and whatever it is, you can solve those problems. Yes. So thank you. Right, we're at the top of Montmartre. It took us a while to climb this hill, but you can see at the back here the view of Paris, and it looks beautiful. And I have here a couple that have a really nice story, Dominic and Judith. How are you guys? Good? The winner of the Love Talk Trip for Two 2015 competitions is, drum roll, we weren't expecting this, and someone is bringing us something here. What's that?
Oh, it's me! How can you do this to me, Dion?
Do not edit this. Do not edit this.
I want it. I want this trophy.
No, hold on, let me see.
I have a lot to prove next year, you know?
Please, the editors, do not edit this out.
All right, then, you keep it. I remember very well a time when I got a terrible flu, like I hadn't in a long time, since I was a little kid. And then he actually had to cook me food and everything, because I couldn't really do anything. Yeah. I remember he was so proud of himself. Yeah. I don't think he knew he would be needed that way. Yeah. He even took a picture. Look, I cooked for you, remember that?
It's true.
Okay, let's go for a break.
Because the other day I asked you, can I come and run with you? Because he loves running. Running is his, hobby. And he said no. I said, why? Because you're too slow. So I don't think he shares the same opinion.
But here's the thing.
Hobby is better shared together.
There was something that someone said that was very interesting, which is there are some hobbies that you can do together, and there are others you can't. And I agree with that. For example, there's a lot of stuff we do together, right? You agree with me?
Yeah.
Good. Otherwise, we couldn't be doing this program, right? We have to agree on this thing.
Hello and welcome to Love Talk. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
We got to speak to Geraldine and her husband Edward, and we saw this beautiful, picturesque town of Trim.
Can I look at the script quickly? Another fun-filled day with so much to do and to see. And also, I look forward to meeting our couple, the couple to... we need to do this again, sorry. Oh, babe, you get the harder parts. Oh.
Now, last time you got to meet Akesh and Renata, and now we are going to meet, or not now, but after the break, we'll get to...
Sorry. We're not talking to you.
Now, earlier we caught up with Rodrigo and Andrea.
I need to do this again, even mine was a bit cheesy.
So, again, hello and
Please tell me to say 150 again for
Yes, 150 at season 4, 15 wedding anniversary.
Now, before the break, we got to meet Rodrigo and Andrea with their awesome story. And now we're going to get to meet
the other couple.
Rodrigo and Andrea with their very special story. And now let's head over to meet. But now it's time to hear from our third and final couple. Take a look.
Do I say take a look? Okay.
Okay, no worries. 3, 2, 1.
Take a look. Take a look.
I'll be driving with this, and Helena would be eating, then she would say, well, do you want some? Do you want some? I'm driving, do you want some?
I only carry with me what's necessary.
Bananas.
Really?
There was this cartoon.
How many times did you need something and I had it? And he said, oh, thank
but still,
God
there was this cartoon before called Sport Billy. Did you ever watch this cartoon? There's this little guy, that had this bag, right? A sports bag. whatever situation he was in life, he would take a miniature of what he needed, put it on the ground, and it would become like real life size. Helena's like this. Her bag, whatever you need is there.
Everything, water. How many times you said, "Oh, do you have some water?" Yes, I do. When you start coughing and there's no water.
You're amazing.
See what I mean?
But I still don't like this.
What don't you like?
Like
the things that he needs.
Bottles everywhere, and then the thing that I hate the most is when I'm driving and there's something rattling around. And Helena, there's loads of stuff like this moving around, just rattling everywhere.
He thinks sometimes that gravity, the world, people have to
work to my schedule.
Exactly. And it doesn't work that way. And he gets really, really upset. I can tell. He might make an effort and not say anything, but I can tell he's annoyed. He's really upset because I'm late 5 minutes for a good cause, because I went back to get something he might need, and most times he ends up needing.
You could have gotten that thing 5 minutes earlier.
But I think with time and age, things will change. Of course, we don't need to mention that many times I'm speaking and he's not listening. He pretends he is because he nods along. And then I'm like, did you understand?
It's just that sometimes...
He wasn't listening.
It's just that sometimes, for example, if you ask me something and I'm going to make a point, it takes me 1 minute. Then if Helena's going to make a point, she tells me the whole... So look, where does your mom come from? Okay, so let me tell you where my mom comes from. My great-great-great-grandmother, she was born on Friday the 13th in such and such place, and then she grew up, and then... So she gives me the long version.
Because I think it's nice.
It's okay
to know, and this way, when I tell you something, you don't misjudge the situation.
And then, of course, I may switch off just a bit because I asked about your mom. So when it gets close,
of it.
Yeah. So when it gets close to your mom's time of being born, then I'll switch on.
Yeah.
But that's it.
But what can you do?
And that's all for today's Love Talk show. Be sure to tune in next week to learn more on how to love intelligently.